Social media it's killing us. So this year, more than any, I have witnessed so many downsides of social media. Not only have I seen the incredibly strong divide that it's caused in our country, both politically and culturally, I have seen the complete demonization of folks online just based off of one digital data point, reducing them to nothing. And I've witnessed what honestly could have been incredible relationships fall prey to the superficiality of social media. I've even had friends try and take their own life because of it this year. Without getting into too much detail, at this point, I am pretty much an expert in the destruction that social media can have on both our personal lives and just on the world at large. And yet, before I knew all of this, I decided to build a business on social media. You might know I run two businesses here on social media. One, which is probably what you're more familiar with, the content creator, influencer side of things. And then secondly, I help small business owners and entrepreneurs leverage social media. Quite recently, this sort of like tug of war between the initial communities and connections that draw me in the first place to social media and the downside it can have on us all. So I decided to make a video for anyone who either has to use social media avidly for work purposes or chooses to personally. Because let's face it, social media is not going anywhere anytime soon. So if we can safely navigate this platform by detoxifying it, let's do that. So here are 10 ways in which I believe that we can make Instagram specifically, but also social media in general, less toxic. Number one, this might seem obvious, but truly block the amount of time that you spend on social media. There are apps that will help you do this. Decide for yourself in advance how much time do you think is an appropriate amount of time to actually be dedicating to social media. And then set boundaries, set limits for yourself. Number two, stop focusing on vanity metrics. I really got myself caught up into this mess a few years ago when you're just so focused on likes and on followers and subscribers and all of this nonsense, when in reality, as human beings, to reduce ourselves and who we are to an algorithm that's completely robotic isn't doing us justice. We are so much more than that. Our self-worth should be defined by things like our character, our empathy, our ability to actually connect with others, for which social media can be an incredible tool. I remember a while ago there was this whole movement that Instagram was actually going to remove the likes feature, and I remember I was sort of excited for that and the outcomes that would have. I don't know what happened to it. Instagram, maybe try it out again. Number three, follow people who inspire you and unfollow those who do not. Here are a few accounts that I've been following recently that's really been helping me. The Holistic Psychologist, Jim Quick, Law of Attraction Live. Honestly, I'm just gonna say it. This goes for me too. If for whatever reason you find that the image that I project or my content that I put out onto any platform is toxic or mentally taxing for you, unfollow me 100%. Your follow is not as valuable as your mental health. I genuinely mean that. And truly it's a win-win for all of us, because I don't really want anyone just to be hate following me either. So feel free to give me an unfollow, and I hope that other creators who are out there feel the exact same way. If you're worried about offending people, don't worry, I get it. I've been there, I am always there. You can mute them instead. That's a really clever feature that Instagram has, so they don't actually know that you're unfollowing them, but you kind of have not been following them. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be following people who every single time I see their stuff, I just kind of feel achy about myself, or I just feel a little bit less than. I don't want that. I just don't want it. I don't need it. I don't need the toxicity in my life. I'm too old for that, and you should be too. Number four, practice intention. Research actually shows that this sort of like passive engagement with Instagram, so think about just like mindlessly scrolling, right, can actually lead to depression. And on the contrary, actively engaging on Instagram, so that means like, posting, engaging, and communicating with others, having conversations, can actually have a positive effect on your mental health. So notice any patterns you might have. Like, are you choosing to scroll on Instagram in the afternoon when you have that slump just after lunch when you're tired or unmotivated? Maybe instead go for a quick little walk. And notice how you feel when you're opening up these apps or when you come across somebody's page. Like, really take note of that. It's important. Are you actually interested in what your friend Jim, did last night when he went out? Or is it just a means of avoiding a task that you should be doing? I do this. Number five, don't use Instagram just as a means to look and watch what other people are up to. Use it to make connections, like real connections, and actively contribute. Social media is not just for sharing or consuming, it's about having conversation. And if something bothers you, just in life, personally, professionally, whatever, talk about it. It was kind of the catalyst for this video. Number six, block and forget. Move on. Don't think about them. I used to hate the idea of blocking someone just because I felt like it was such a petty, like immature, dramatic thing to do. However, I have completely done a 180 on this mindset, because now I've come to realize that if somebody's just following me just to hate me or to leave, mean comments about me just to bring me down to make themselves feel better, they don't deserve to see what I'm up to. Here's how I like to think of it. Treat your profile like you would any other personal space, right? So like if someone comes, if your neighbor comes knocking on your house door just to tell you how you stink, you're gonna shut the door in that person's face. Don't you dare come knocking on my door and tell me that. This is my house. How dare you? You shut the door, you move on, you block, forget. It is not worth your mental health to be somebody else's punching bag for their pain, to be a receptacle for their pain. You know, it's a lose-lose. It obviously is gonna bring you down, and it's not gonna help them either. They need to sort out their own stuff and fill up their own love cup themselves. Number 7, clean up your home feed. You know that you can actually tell the Instagram algorithm what are things that you are and are not interested in seeing. I'll show you here how you can do it. For example, my feed is now filled with things, it looks very different than it did a year ago, filled with things that genuinely bring me joy. Like I leave feeling a little bit better. Roller coasters, music, positivity quotes, architecture, things about Chicago, I love that city. Feel good accounts, just no negativity. No. Number 8, be really mindful about the amount and the style of filters and of Facetune and post editing that you're using. If you look at some of the data on this, it is absolutely horrific. The percentage of folks who are depressed and even suicide rates, especially among young teens, has just skyrocketed over the past 5 years. And there's a direct correlation to the unhealthy use of filters and whatnot. Here's my philosophy on it. Get it, we all want to put our best foot forwards on social media, right? I understand it, and I can admit, I've been there. I use filters, you guys probably see me use them on Instagram, and you know, I have used Facetune, I'll be totally honest about that. Where it becomes problematic is the level to which you're doing it. So for filters that are literally like altering features on your face, probably not the healthiest, right? For setting unrealistic beauty standards for other people, but also just for your own mental health. No, at least for me personally, like if I'm posting a bunch of stuff and I'm like, whoa, I really do not look like that at all. Like it would kind of wear on me. And then in terms of Facetune, just try and do it sparingly, right? And like try and think about the intention for which you're doing it. Okay, number 9, be really intentional about what you post. But what I mean by this is basically just don't perpetuate toxicity. And we all know what toxicity looks like. Social media should not double as your therapy session to project your pain onto other people. Are you posting to validate and to fill a sort of emptiness inside? And don't get me wrong, I've done this from time to time when I'm single and lonely, I get it. But the reality is, and I do know this, it's not healthy. It's just a band-aid solution to my own insecurities that ultimately I have to work on myself. It's just not sustainable any other way. I need to fill up my own cup with love because nobody else can do that. And if mine's not full, I'm not gonna be able to provide love adequately to somebody else. And finally, this might be the most obvious one, but it's probably the most important. Take a break. Take a break. Get off of social media. There is nothing wrong with that. And do not let anyone try and shame you into being on it for whatever reason. If you feel like it's not healthy for you, get off of it, remove it, just delete the app, even just for a little while, for like a week, and I think you'll be astounded at the results. I unfortunately don't have the liberty of doing that because this is how I earn a living. But if I did, oh my gosh, heck yeah. As much as I love you guys, I would definitely take breaks off of this. No shame. It is, you guys, at the end of the day, social media really can, I wanna leave it in a positive note, it really can be such an incredibly empowering, incredibly positive tool, truly, if used properly. I've made so many friends through here. I've gotten into, pretty actually healthy relationships through here. I've found a therapist through here. I've built a business that I'm quite proud of. Ultimately, we get out of it what we put in. Power is in our hands, quite literally in our hands. So the choice is yours. Are you gonna use social media positively or negatively? Let me know in the comment section down below. I love you guys. If you liked this video, if you found it helpful, let me know that in the comment section. Share it with anyone who you think might benefit, and subscribe to my channel. I always appreciate that, so you can keep up to date with any Sam-related updates. I hope that you enjoyed this pseudo-venting session of mine. Hopefully you found it to be quite productive. And with that, I'll check out. Ciao, nos vemos. Bye guys.